Welcome. So I'm going to go to YouTube first to make sure that I'm actually broadcasting live and that you can hear me and see me okay. I can see that YouTube's starting up now. So I do apologise if there's an advert that started just before, but I've got this YouTube channel monetised. So I'm going to wait until you get me. If you want to skip the ad, that's great. Now, I'm going to wait until you give me the heads up that you can actually hear me and everything is going okay. And I've updated this software and they've got some new noises. Listen, a triangle, party sound. How fantastic is that? A DJ. Right, so enough of the noises. Got you okay, that's great. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to remove this thing on the bottom here. And then I'm just going to check to see how many people we got watching. Now, if you've got any questions, okay, make sure you put them in capital letters. And I see that Caroline's already asked a question about can I go through liquidity trade. I don't, if I get time, Caroline, because I've got a lot that I want to do. I've got a presentation that I want to do for you. And if I get time towards the end, I'll try and do that. If not, we'll do another hangout next week, and we'll do that as one of the subjects then. So if I get time, I will. But if I don't get time, I do apologise, okay? So just coming down the bottom, let's check. So make sure if you've got questions, big capital letters, okay? Big capital letters, because what I want to make sure is that you know, that I get to your questions. Now, what I will do, actually, is I will share my screen quickly. And where's me tool gone? There it is. So if I share my screen, hopefully you're going to see the screen. Yep, that's the screen on there. So what I'll do is I will go into the liquidator quickly. So if I go to my portfolio, okay, and I'll just let this load, because what I want to do is make sure a few people get on the hangout, because what I'm about to share with you I think is going to be very helpful for a lot of you. Okay, so if I go down here now, look, there's liquidating trades here on Binance. So I'm just going to show you what this is. So a liquidating trade, okay, I'll do this AE one. We'll have a look at that, and I just want to show you what it means. There is a problem with this particular trade, but let's put the problem aside. And so basically what this is telling me, if I want to sell my AE coin for Bitcoin on Binance, I'm going to get this rate here. But if I send it over to Bitmark in this case, I will get 8.1% more Bitcoin for the same amount of AE. Okay, so if I look at this one, AE, here, it's saying if I sell or exchange my AE for Ethereum on Binance, I'll get this rate. Okay, but if I want to send the AE over to Bitmark, I would get 25% more Ethereum with the same amount of AE. So hopefully that sort of sinks home with that. Okay, so I'm going to come back to my little Google here, and I'll stop sharing. I'll go back over here, and then what we're going to do, let me just check to see how the chat's going. So check your email, Barb sent. Oh, that's for Barbara. Right, is JB down? It's not letting me log in. Well, I've just logged in, Dave, so it's fine for me. I'll tell you what I noticed the other day, actually, Dave, is that I kept having problems getting into a couple of sites. So I cleared all my cookies and my history, and everything seemed to be fine, you know. I did that this morning, and I could log into all of the sites. So I just cleared all my history. It's a pain in the butt, you know, because you've got to get the passwords and all that stuff put back in again. Logged you out of all your email accounts if you've got more than one. So it was a pain in the butt. But anyway, what I want to do is I'm going to apologise because I've got a little bit of a man flu. Well, it's not, you know what I mean, a cold. I haven't got the virus, okay? So don't worry. Even though I'm married to a chopstick, we ain't got the virus. But I'm a bit dry, so I shall keep swigging water. And hopefully my voice doesn't disappear. much to your delight if it does, but hopefully my voice doesn't disappear before I get through this presentation. Okay, so I'm just going to go back over to YouTube and make sure that we're doing all good on here. And I'm just going to get rid of the comments for a minute on this part. I know you can't see what I'm doing, but this software puts loads of little stuff on your screen and you have to shut them off. Okay, right, so we've got 21 people watching at the moment and we've got 12 thumbs up. So if you want to give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down, any interaction is better than none. Okay, so please hit the thumbs up. And if you're not a member or not subscribed to this channel, below the video there'll be a big subscribe button. Click on that, and then obviously if you click on the bell icon again, then you'll get notified once I upload a new video or we do a live broadcast. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dive straight in. So let me get my software and I'm going to share my screen again. So hopefully that's the screen. Yeah, and I'm going to bring up my presentation and I'm going to make this, get this, oh God, move this out the way. I know you can't see it, but I'll make it nice and big. So right, what I want to make sure in this presentation, there's a few things that we're going to be covering, okay? So the first thing I want to make sure is that people don't confuse fiat currencies with cryptocurrencies. I know that sounds bizarre, but I noticed from support tickets and a few messages that get sent to me and a few posts that I've seen in the Telegram chat and you know, and around Facebook, I can clearly see that people are getting confused between fiat currencies and cryptocurrencies. So let me explain. Okay, if you hold dollars, you hold dollars. You don't hold any cryptocurrency at the moment. So if you hold a dollar, a pound, or a euro, or any other currency around the world, if you hold that, you don't hold any currency. Okay, now, of course, if you hold Bitcoin, a cryptocurrency, doesn't matter what the cryptocurrency is, I've used the most popular one, but if you hold that, you're holding now Bitcoin. So you're not holding dollars, okay? So at today, if you wanted to buy one Bitcoin at roughly the time I made this slide, I don't know whether the price has changed, but if you wanted to buy one Bitcoin, you would need 9,088 US dollars, okay? And likewise, if you had a Bitcoin and you wanted to, you know, exchange it for dollars, you'd get roughly that amount, okay? So what does that mean? So if you hold Bitcoin and you decide to have dollars, okay, you won't hold Bitcoin anymore. And if you have dollars and you decide to have Bitcoin, you won't hold any dollars anymore. You can't. So you shouldn't draw a comparison to them both, okay? Because what I've noticed that people do. So I've noticed people saying things like this. I did a trade and my US dollar value went down. Big sad face. So what they did was they bought Bitcoin and then maybe did a trade. And then they're saying, after I did that trade, the value of that coin is not worth the same as in dollar values of what I had when I held it in Bitcoin. Okay, so they're saying I do a trade and then after I've done the trade is my dollar value's gone down. But remember, if you're doing a trade, say with Bitcoin and another coin, another cryptocurrency, the idea of a trade is for you to increase your cryptocurrency, not to put the value of the dollar up. Okay, it's to increase the cryptocurrency. So, so obviously, if you hold dollars, you know, if you don't hold dollars, you hold crypto. So you hold Bitcoin. Okay, so you don't confuse the two. So why? So let me give you a bit more in depth of that, if you like. So as I say, you used your $9,088 to buy one Bitcoin at the time of making this slide. Okay, now that's today's rate at the time of making this slide. But if you look at that little chart there, then that red line, the price of Bitcoin is constantly going up and down. And obviously what's happened in the economy at the moment, all the stock markets seem to be crashing and then trying to recover and crashing. It affects the dollar. Price of gold's gone up and down. I was going to swear then, but the price of dollar's gone up and down. The price of Bitcoin's gone up and down. The price of cryptocurrencies have all gone up and down. Okay, so had you bought your Bitcoin today, okay, had you bought your Bitcoin today at the time of making this slide, and which that 1804 that says there, you would have paid $9,088.35. But had you had bought that Bitcoin, okay, on the 26th of February, okay, you would have lost $40 in value because it's gone down. It was 9,128. So if you bought it on the 26th of February, today it's gone down. So you've lost $40. And if you would have bought it on the 28th of February, you'd have lost $500 because on the 28th of February it was 8,543.04 cents according to Google. Okay, now so if you'd have bought it then, and then today it would if you'd have bought it then, you'd have lost $540. Okay, or you would have made $540 if you would have bought it then and sold it today. You see, so it depends when you buy it and when you're selling it that warrants the price. Okay, now let's just say that you wanted to do a trade and you saw a trade like this one. I've just chose this as an example, so I don't want you to go out and do this trade because this was at the time when I made these slides. I think it was about Wednesday time when I started putting these slides together. Okay, but I just wanted to use this as an example. So if you wanted to do a trade, okay, with this currency, this CTX, okay, and the trade was involved with Bitfinex and OKX, okay? Well, the first thing you should be doing, really, is checking the coin stats on this coin. You know, do a little bit of work yourself and check the coin stats, and I'll show you a little bit about that a little bit later if we got time. Now, let's just say that this was the trade, okay? The trade was, with your CTX, was on Bitfinex, was to buy Ethereum. Okay, then the system would ask you, so the robot would take care of that part of the trade. Then the robot would say to you, well, you need to send the Ethereum now from Bitfinex and send it over to OKX. Okay, and then once it arrives there, the robot will take back over, sell the Ethereum for the CTX, and you should have made a profit. And then, of course, you would return it back. Okay. But there's a problem, okay? There's a problem. You don't hold any of this CTX, okay? Now, this is where a lot of people make a mistake. This is where. So, if you're watching this, I see a video recently of a couple of people that have done some videos, and I could see clearly in the video the mistake they made, okay? And I see it in the Telegram chat, the mistake they make. So I thought I wanted to make sure that I could clear all this up for you. So the problem is you don't hold this CTX, but maybe you hold Ethereum. Okay, you've got the Ethereum on Bitfinex and you say, I don't hold the CTX, but I hold the Ethereum. So should I use my Ethereum on Bitfinex that I've got to buy CTX on Bitfinex? Now, should I do that? Should I use the Ethereum that I've got to buy this CTX coin? No, you shouldn't do that, okay? You shouldn't do that because it's a big no-no. And let me tell you why it's a no, okay? Now, I've used Ethereum. That could be Bitcoin. It could be anything. It doesn't matter. Most of these these altcoins, if you like. You know, you got the top coins, you got Bitcoin, you got Ethereum, you got Litecoin, you got Tether. Most of these coins, okay, these altcoins are traded with either Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Tether, or a fiat currency. They're not traded with another altcoin normally, okay? It's very rare you're going to see that. I think the only case that you will see it is on Binance, where they trade with the Binance coin, because you know Binance are trying to push their coin up. So most of these altcoins trade with Bitcoin, Ethereum, US fiat currencies. Okay, they're the three real currencies, you know, and Tether. Okay, 4 currencies that you will find that it will trade with. So let me tell you why you shouldn't do that. Okay, because you will lose 100%. You will lose. Okay. And you're going to ask me, why am I going to lose? Okay, well, that's because of the trading spread. Okay, the trading spread. So if you're on an exchange like Bitfinex, it doesn't matter, HitBTC, Eximo, KuCoin, Kraken, Coinbase Pro. It doesn't matter what exchange you're on. They all have a trading spread. So this is what a typical order book would look like. Okay, this is a typical order book. As you can see, there's a load of numbers in red and there's a load of numbers in green. And in the middle, there's the spread. So let's just see. All these ones in red are the people selling. This is the selling book. This is the ask price. You will be buying from the sellers. Okay, so you'll be buying from the sellers. So these are the people selling in red. Now, the bottom order book is the people buying. You would be selling to the people buying. And in the middle is the spread. So you'll always find that if you buy a coin, okay, if you've got Bitcoin and you want to buy, or you've got Ethereum and you want to buy that CTX, if you use your Ethereum and you buy the CTX, and then you go to do the trade, you're going to lose, okay? Because you held Ethereum, okay? So now you're going to say, on Bitfinex, I'm going to use my Ethereum that I've got to buy CTX. Then I'm going to start the robot. Soon as it's done the first part of the trade, okay? Soon as it's done the first part of the trade, you've lost the trading spread. You've lost the value because you had Ethereum, you bought CTX, and you put it back, and then the robot bought Ethereum with it. Okay? So you're going to lose on that first part of the trade. So you would never ever do that. You'd never look at a trade and say, well, I don't have any of that coin on there, but I have Ethereum or I have Bitcoin on the same exchange, and I'm going to use that to buy that coin. That's a big no-no, okay? Big no-no. So what should you do? Okay, if you don't have that CTX coin and you say, well, I'd like that trade because it's got a nice ROI. I think there was about 8% on it, so I'd like to do that trade. But so how do I go about getting this CTX to really make sure I'm in a good chance for making a profit? Okay, because if you do it the way that most people are doing, you're going to lose. Okay, you're going to lose because you're starting again. As I say, I'll come back to here. If you're going to use the Ethereum to buy CTX and then start the robot, because now you've got CTX, the robot's going to buy Ethereum. Straight away you've lost. Okay, so what should you do? Well, to understand that, we need to look at the last part of the trade. Now, I know what you're going to say. You're going to say to me, well, I can't see the last part of the trade until I buy it. But I'll cover that in a minute. But let's look at the last part of the trade. So the last part of the trade is, the first part, if you look there, it says at the top of the screen, with the CTX, buy Ethereum on Bitfinex, then send the Ethereum over to from Bitfinex over to KuCoin. And then when you've got the Ethereum on OKX, sell it for CTX. So it makes sense that you would send your Ethereum from Bitfinex, the Ethereum you've got, before you start the trade, over to OKX. Okay? You can do, and then once it arrives there, once it arrives on OKX, you use the currency tool that you've got on your portfolio. Okay? You'd use the currency tool to exchange your Ethereum for CTX on the second exchange. Okay, and it doesn't matter what coin you're doing it, what trade it is, whether it's a trade with Bitcoin or Tether or a fiat currency. You would make sure that you've got the coin on the second exchange. And then once you've done that, you're going to send the CTX over to Bitfinex. So now you've got it on the right exchange. Okay, you've got it on the right exchange. And you're going to get more CTX because you bought it on the second exchange, because that's what the trade's telling you to do. It's saying use your one Ethereum, okay, and if you bought coins, the CTX on OKX, then send that over there. Time you rinse and recycle that maybe a couple of times, if it allows you to do that, then you're going to be into a profit. Okay, so looking at the trade, okay, looking at the trade. So once you've done that move, then you could start the trade, because now you will have CTX, that core text coin. You will have that sitting on the right exchange with Bitfinex. So if we look here at this trade, okay, I think that's the last slide. It's not. So before I get to the, let's just say that you sent your Ethereum, okay, over to OKX. You bought CTX. You sent the CTX back over to Bitfinex, ready to start the trade, but the trade was no longer available. Doesn't matter. You'll use the currency tool, okay, to exchange your CTX back into Ethereum. So you'll end up back with your Ethereum, but because you bought it on the second exchange, okay, the chances are 9 times out of 10 you're going to break even. Okay, you're going to break even. In some cases, you might even make a profit. But if you do lose a bit, it's not going to be a lot. But you can guarantee if you did it on the first exchange, the one I said to you in the beginning of this presentation, you definitely lose. Okay, so you haven't lost anything here because you still hold the cryptocurrency. Remember, you still hold the cryptocurrency. Don't look at the value of what that cryptocurrency is on that exchange. Okay. So I'm going to end my presentation there, and I'm going to come over to stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to see if we've got any questions. Okay, first. So I'm going to, where's the YouTube? There we are. Yeah, so don't think so if you've got any questions, let me have those. Okay, let me have those. So let me just say to you, look, if we go over to Jonny Blockchain, I'm just going to go to the arbitrage screen. I'm going to share my screen again in a minute. And we'll look at some trades together, okay? Because you're probably looking at the screen saying, right, I get that, but the problem is, Jeremy, I won't know what the second coin is until I've bought the trade, which is true. That's 100% true, okay? 100% true. But what I want to do is I want to just share my screen with you again when I find the little yokel that does that. Share my screen. So hopefully you've got my screen. Right, so if we go over to Jonny Blockchain, I'm going to duplicate this tab. And the first thing I said to you was in the beginning of the presentation, I said, look at the markets, look at the coin stats for the particular coin. Now, I was going to do that CTX, I don't know whether it comes, let me see if it comes up like that if I search it. I think you have to put in the full name. Here it is here. Okay, so this coin. So I can see that this coin is on one blockchain, which is brilliant. I can see that. So I know that my trade's going to be on the same blockchain. Of course, that can change. But at the time when the system was updated, it's saying it's on one blockchain. Okay, I think it's on Mainsnet, to be fair. And if I go into this coin, okay, I can see that there's 16 markets. So I look at the markets. Okay, I look at the markets. So what I can see is on Bitfinex, it's trading with Bitcoin, US dollars, or Tether. Okay? Sorry, not Tether, Ethereum. Bitcoin, US dollars, Ethereum. So if I've got Bitcoin, okay, if I've got Bitcoin sitting on Bitfinex, I'm not going to use it to buy that CTX, okay? I'm not going to use it to buy CTX. If I've got US dollars sitting on Bitfinex, I'm not going to use it to buy that CTX. If I've got Ethereum sitting on Bitfinex, I'm not going to use it to buy CTX. Because there's a very good chance, because it's got to be one of these three coins, okay? It's got to be one of these three coins. So if you've got Bitcoin, the best thing to do is to send it over to OKX, okay? Send it over to OKX and see what you get for your coin over there, okay? And you can already see that there's a difference in price, okay? 291 and over here. So you're going to get more CTX for your Bitcoin on OKX than what you would do on Bitfinex, okay? So if I come to the trades and I click this button, and I'm not going to do the Fiat, I'm going to come to the crypto circular. Okay, if I wanted to do some of these trades, and I say to myself, well, look, there's Tron there, but I don't have Tron. I don't have Tron. I don't have it. So what I do is come over to the stats, and what I do have on these exchanges, I have, let's take Binance, for example. Let's just say on Binance, I've got some Bitcoin and I've got some Ethereum sitting there, and I've got a bit of US dollar. Okay, so I say, which one am I going to use? Which one am I going to use to get myself some Tron? So you'll come up to here, you'll go down to coin stats. That will bring you over to this page. Okay, so if I go back to the coin stats, This is what these stats are there for. And if I type in Tron and click the search button, there you go, it's at the top. I can see it's on 158 markets. Okay, I can see it's also on 3 blockchains, which could be a bit of a problem. Okay, but let's look at the markets first. So I can see on Binance, you can trade Tron with quite a few coins. Okay, quite a few coins. So in this case, I would say, well, how do I know which coin it's going to be? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bite the bullet and I'm going to buy it for $1. I'm going to buy the trade for $1. So I'm going to buy this one. Where was the Binance? Let's see if here, this one. So I was going to buy it with $1. Okay, is a problem, but not a good example. But anyway, I buy it for $1. Okay, click on the buy. So this is costing me $1. Okay, costing me $1 to buy a manual trade. I'd then go over to my routes and have a look what the trade was being I was going to use, and it's this CTO coin. Obviously, I know there's a problem with this coin, so not a good example. Okay, but it's telling me that I'm going to do CTO, buy it with Tether, buy CTO. It's telling me I need Tether on Binance, and I might not have Tether. Well, the best place for me to get Tether is obviously, if I wanted to do this trade, would be on OKX. Get the Tether on there, okay, and then send the Tether over here and start the trade. Okay, now if you don't have Tether, you'd say, well, okay, that's not a trade I maybe want to look at, and you've spent $1. These signals that you've got from Jonny blockchain, I can tell you that they're there, but you have to be a bit intelligent. You know, you have to do a bit of due diligence yourself, so that when you do find a good trade, you're making profit. You're making profit. You're making profit. Now, one thing I will say, okay. If you go to do a trade, I say the base coin, okay? I always say, I call it the base coin. Now, let's just say that base coin, because I see that there was let me just have a look and I'll find a trade with the base coin, okay? So I'm just going to come, sorry, bear with me. So I'm going to find a trade with the base coin, and I've got 15 crypto circular trades here, and I can see that I've got a trade here where I can do a trade with Ethereum. There's a trade with Ethereum. So let me come back over to my thing here to go to the whiteboard. Okay, so the Ethereum, ETH, it's telling me I need Ethereum on exchange. I'm just going to say Binance, okay? Binance. So it's telling me I need the trade Ethereum on that exchange. And then what it's telling me to do is to, I'm going to be doing a trade with HitBTC. Okay, HitBTC. Now, if you don't hold this coin, let's just do another coin. Let's do a coin that's not so popular. I'm just going to do, here, we'll do this coin. This one here. I'm going to say the trade was with a coin called Subtanium, I think it's called. So if you don't hold that coin, okay, but you've got Bitcoin sitting on here, BTC, you have to seriously ask yourself, okay, do I want to do that trade if I don't hold any sub, even though it's got a fantastic ROI? Now, if you're looking to immediately make yourself $1 increase, that might not happen, because you mustn't confuse dollars with crypto or fiat with crypto. Okay, what you must do is say, well, I've got Bitcoin. It doesn't matter the price of Bitcoin. I've got Bitcoin, and I'm going to use that Bitcoin to buy some sub. Well, I'm not going to buy it on this exchange here, this Binance, sorry, on this one, on Binance. I'm going to buy that sub somewhere else. So I'm going to go to the coin stats, and I'm going to look for the best place for me to buy that sub. Okay, so all the coin stats are there, gives you all the prices, and you work out and you're looking for the lowest price to buy that sub with your Bitcoin. Obviously, if you buy it at the lowest price, you know, let's just say on one exchange, you're going to need 1 Bitcoin to get 1,000 sub, and on another exchange, you're going to need 1 Bitcoin to get 1,200 subs. Okay. Well, obviously, you want to buy it on this exchange, okay? So you just do a bit of due diligence. You say, yeah, I want to do this trade, But I'm not going to use my Bitcoin on here to buy sub, because the minute the trade starts, you're going to lose the spread. So don't get trapped in that trading spread. And then when you've done the trade, okay, so you bought your sub on I don't know, this mystery exchange down here, and now you send the sub up into HitBTC, okay? You send the sub up into HitBTC. The second mistake people do, okay? The second mistake people are doing, and I've seen it time and time again. There's a couple of guys in the Telegram chat, and I can see that they don't understand this principle, this next bit that I'm going to show you. So look, we got our sub, and we started with our sub, okay, on Binance. The trade, we started the trade. So the trade went and bought, I don't know, another coin. Let's just say it bought Bitcoin, because that's normally what it will do, Bitcoin or Ethereum, on Binance. Okay, that was on this first exchange. And then it said to send the Bitcoin over to HitBTC. Okay, and then it said we're going to, once it's on, the Bitcoin's on HitBTC, we're then going to exchange it back for sub. Now, I've heard people turn around and say, well, okay, I started here, I started with a Bitcoin on here, and I bought sub. Well, straight away they've lost. Okay, straight away they've lost. But if they even bought the sub somewhere else, okay, or they held sub, they held the sub, they already had the sub, and they sent it over to this exchange so they could do the trade, okay, what they do at the end of it, they say, well, the sub on here was worth $20. On here, it's worth $18. I've lost $2. Well, you haven't lost $2, have you? It wasn't trading in dollars. Over here, you might have had 100 sub. Over here, you might have 200 sub. Okay? So you might have 200. So it's clear, because you've just done a trade on this exchange, you can't change your sub back up on this exchange, because you're definitely going to lose. You've got to send it to another exchange, i.e. back to Binance, or you're going to go and look in the coin stats. You're going to say, where's the best place for me to send it? Okay? Or you're going to use that liquidation tool. Because once the sub's in your HitBTC, that will show up on your portfolio. You go over to your portfolio and look to see the best place for you to liquidate that coin, either back into Bitcoin or Ethereum or into dollars. Okay? But you won't make a profit by doing the trade on here, because you can guarantee on this exchange, if sub has a low value against Bitcoin on this exchange, it will have a low value against Ethereum, it'll have a low value against dollar, it'll have a low value against any other currency. So you can't reverse the trade once you've got it here. You've got to get away from this second exchange to get your profit. You've got to send it to an exchange where it's got a higher value if you want to put it back into Bitcoin, or you want to put it back into fiat currency. Okay? So these trades are showing you on the screen that you see are trades that you would do if you have the coin. If you don't, then you've got to do a little bit of extra work if you want to make a profit. Okay? So I'm hoping that the penny drops on that. And if we've got any questions, which at the moment I don't seem I've got any questions, but I would love to hear if you've got any questions. And I'm just going to have a swig of water. Bear with me. So I'll take this off the board that we've got here. And my presentation, I might, if I've got time, I might even go through it again. But let's see if anybody has got any questions. It looks like silent. Let me know you can hear me. Let me know you can see me at least, even if you haven't got a question. Okay? And let me know if that resonated with you, whether you got it or whether there was a bit you didn't get. And let me know. Give me your feedback. Let me know on this broadcast if that sunk in with you and you got it 100%, or there was a couple of little bits that you say, no, I'm not quite clear on that. But let me know you can hear me. So, and then what I'm going to do, because what we got, I've done that in just over half an hour, so we don't need to hang around if there's no question. Good lesson. Thanks, JR. Yeah, I'm glad you liked that. So let me know if you've got any questions, okay? So I shall hang on to that. If there's anything else in Jonny blockchain that you want to get, that you want me to share with you or you want me to go over, because I've got plenty of time left. I didn't realise I was going to get through that presentation so quickly. So I would appreciate it if you've either got a question or if there's something else you wanna share, that you want me to share. Sorry, to ask again about the spread between the red and the green. That's okay, Giles. There's no need to be sorry, my friend. So there's always a spread, okay? If you look on any exchange, there's always a difference in price from the buying and the selling, okay? So, because otherwise, let's be faced. If it's exactly the same price, you know, if a Bitcoin was worth $1 on one exchange and you could buy it for $1 and you could sell it for $1, well, the exchange, nobody would go there. They'd say, well, what's the point of going there? You know, because everything's the same. So when you actually buy a coin on an exchange, you will find that you can't sell the coin for the same amount that you just bought it for, okay? You can't do that. You will lose. So, in other words, if you buy a Bitcoin for, say, $10,000, and you say, right, I've just spent $10,000 of my money, or £10,000, or 10,000 euros, and I did that on Binance, and I bought a Bitcoin. And the price of Bitcoin never went up, never went down. It stayed at $10,000. Guaranteed. If you want to sell that Bitcoin back to dollars or back to euros or back to any other currency that you started with, if you sell it back, you will not get $10,000. You will be minus the spread. Okay, minus the spread. And if I go to Pro Coinbase, because that's let's see if I can get in there. Pro Coinbase. I don't know whether I'm logged out because I cleared all my cookies, didn't I? That's a pain in the where the sun don't shine. So I think I'm logged out. Let me see if I can log in quickly. If it's going to let me log in. Yeah, log that in. Is it going to ask me for a verification code? Does it send? I don't know if it sends it to my mobile. Where's my mobile? Or if I've got the... Yes, it's saying it sent it to me mobile. I can see it now. So bear with me. I'm just going to get this signed in and then I'll go there and show you. Talk amongst yourselves as you do and verify. Visit the support bit. It looks like you're signing into Coinbase from a computer device. There's a note that I need an email. Oh, God. So they're going to send me an email now. Never clear your cookies because this is a pain in the where the sun don't shine, I must admit. So anyway, let me just see if I can... I've got a link here to click. I know you can't see what I'm doing and you're looking at my ugly mug. Yes, it's me. Authorizing, it says. Leave the page on that one. That's good. And hopefully I'm in Coinbase Pro. Yes, so I am. So if I share my screen again, let's find my little yokel software, wherever it's gone. It's over here. I'll share my screen. Okay. Now, if you look here, the order book's loading. Okay. So give it a little bit of time for the order book to load. But I just want to show you, if I can, if it's going to load in time. I want to show you that you've got different prices. Okay. From the spread. And I don't know what's happening with this. Let me refresh the screen. Coinbase is taking a bit of time. Coinbase Pro. The order book. There you go. There's the order book. Can you see the spread moving in the middle? Look, there's the spread. I'm in euros. So if I come up here and I go to Great British Pounds, okay, and I go Bitcoin, Great British Pounds, spread £10.99. So that's the difference between the buying and the selling. So if you bought, you're a buyer, and if you're selling, you're a seller, but you're going to get less the spread. So if you started off with 10,000. You know, you bought Bitcoin and the spread was $10. Well, when you sold it back, first off, you're going to lose the trading fee. Okay, both the trading fees. And you'll be $10 short. So you'll end up with, instead of you ending up with 10,000, you'll end up with 9,090 or maybe less. Okay, because the spread's always, and it's the same in every exchange. There's always a spread. So what you mustn't do And I say again, you mustn't do, I don't know why I started that. What you mustn't do is actually use to buy the coin on the same exchange, because you may find that you're going to use Bitcoin. You don't have that sub, and you're going to use Bitcoin. You say, "Oh, I've got Bitcoin on that exchange, so I'll use the Bitcoin to buy sub, and then I'll start the robot." Well, if the robot's going to use the sub to buy Bitcoin, you've lost the spread. So it makes sense to buy it on another exchange. Get it on a cheaper exchange. You can quite easily, you could see the two exchanges. You could say, well, it tells me I need sub. I don't have sub. So I'm going to go to the coin stats and I'm going to have a look at what the rate is for Bitcoin on, Binance, for example, where the trade's going to start. And I'm also going to have a look at what the price is on another exchange. And they say, there's a cheaper exchange. I'm going to buy my sub over there. I'm going to send my Bitcoin over there, buy my sub in the example I showed you, and send the sub back to the first exchange, which was Binance, and then start the trade. Then you stand a very, 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 very high chance of making a profit. But if you buy the sub with your Bitcoin on the same exchange that you're about to start the trading, there's a very high percentage of the time you're going to lose in value. Okay, you're going to lose, not in dollar value, because I don't look at the dollar value. As I said, one site will tell you a dollar value to another. And if I go back to the trading stats, and I'll share my screen again. Where's my screen? Share my screen. So if I go back here, and look, we're looking at the markets for Bitcoin. So it's telling you the average price is $9,083. But it's telling you the lowest price is 8,700. So you can't look at the dollar value if you've got your coin. So if I look into this in the markets, okay, and I look at the Bitcoin, and I see here it's 8,000, okay, against the euros. Let's see if I can find another euro one. Here, so it's 8,080. So on Coinbase Pro, for euros with Bitcoin, it's worth 8,080. So if I started with my Bitcoin or my euros, okay, on Coinbase Pro, and then I bought Bitcoin, and then I sent that Bitcoin over to Sexio, it's worth 8,072. So it's gone down by $10. So already it looks like I've lost $10, but I haven't, because that's because I want to sell it on a lower exchange. I've still got the Bitcoin, haven't I? So when people say I started with $8,000, I bought a Bitcoin, or I started with $50, I bought Bitcoin, I bought this other coin, and this other coin, when I finished the trade, it's only worth $20. I've lost $30. It's not true. It's not true. You just didn't understand that you've bought it at the end of the trade. It's on the place where you can, it's the lowest price. So you need to send it to an exchange where it's the highest price. You see? So that's what you've got to do. That's why these coin stats are here. So when you've done a trade, you need to go back and have a look what you're going to do with that coin. And I say, do a few steps before you buy a trade. You know, what is it? There's loads of trades available. All you need to do is to do a few steps and do a bit of your due diligence, checking out your trading. I want to say this to you, if trading was as easy as counting the fingers on your hand, everybody would be rich. Okay? The hardest thing for traders, first thing, there's these types of traders. There's ones that are going to try and read these things called candles. Okay? They're going to use these candles. They might have Bollinger Bands going through it. They might have the MACD. They might have all sorts of stuff that they're going to do. The D on the end. The MACD. They've got all sorts of stuff that they're going to use. This type of trading is probably the hardest type of trading. The easiest type of trading is arbitrage, where you buy in one exchange. Okay, you buy in exchange 1 at a low price, and you send it to exchange 2 for a high price. That's exactly what people try to do when they do here. They want to buy it down here and sell it up there. Okay, but that's very, very risky. What you're doing with arbitrage, you're buying it here, you're selling it there. Then what you do with after you finished and you've got this mystery coin, I don't know what the coin might be, you don't confuse that coin and say, oh, I'm going to exchange it back on the same exchange. You're going to look for another exchange, either send it back to the original exchange, number one, to rinse and repeat. But if the trade's gone, you can either sit with the coin and wait to see what happens, or you can just move it around, move it back to this exchange, because 9 times out of 10, I've noticed the same exchanges come up all the time, okay, for certain coins. So what I'm starting to do now is, even though I do a trade and at the end of it the trade's gone, I send the original coin back to here, and lo and behold, a few hours go by, a couple of days go by, the trade's there again. So if you're doing arbitrage trading, okay, this is the safest form of trading. But of course, every trading that you do comes with a risk, okay? There's never 100% guarantee. And if you believe that it's 100% guarantee, and you believe that every time you do a trade, it's going to make you a profit, then you shouldn't be doing trading. Because trading, guaranteed, you will lose sometimes. But, with arbitrage, that cuts that down quite a lot. So I'm going to go over to the Hangout. And I'm going to have a drink of water. I would like to try Jonny blockchain. My questions are about different subjects when you have the time. Well, Carlos, the best thing you can do, okay, is if you've got questions, I certainly can't do a one-on-one on Facebook or Skype or like that. So what the best thing for you to do is to join our Facebook group. We have a video on this YouTube channel that's a support video that tells you how you can get in touch with support. So you can either send in a support ticket with your questions. You don't have to be a member to send that support ticket in. You can either use our support post on Facebook and you can put your question on there, or of course you could just post your question on Facebook our Facebook group. But it's no good sending me a private message, because quite frankly I just won't have the time to answer it, I'm afraid. Could you recommend me where to buy Bitcoin from? Jonny Blockchain tells you where to buy Bitcoin from. If you want to buy Bitcoin, you go over to Jonny Blockchain, and I'll show you. Look, I'm going to go to Jonny Blockchain, and I'm going to share my screen again. Hopefully that's my screen. You got it. So on the front page of Jonny Blockchain, if you slide down, it says Coin Stats Overview. There's Bitcoin. It's telling you that you can buy it between 9,000 and 8,700. So all you got to do, and it's on one blockchain, all you got to do is click on here, on the markets, and then look for the exchange with the lowest price for whatever you want to buy it in. Do you want to buy it with euros? Do you want to buy it with dollars? Do you want to buy it with pounds? Do you want to buy it with Ethereum? Do you want to buy it with Dash? I don't know where, because so how can I recommend where you're going to buy a coin from if I don't know what you're starting with? Okay, so all you need to do is the same like if you go to a supermarket, okay, and you go out shopping and there's 3 shops in a row and you want to buy yourself a new shirt. You say, well, I've got $50 to spend on my shirt and I want a blue one and I want pink stripes on it. So you walk into the shop, you see a shirt with pink stripes. You say, yeah, I want that one. How much is that? And they say that's $52. So, okay, thank you. You walk out, you go in the next shop. They say, we got a blue shirt with pink stripes on it. It's $45. You say, it's cheaper. It's the same shirt, but it's cheaper. I'll buy it here. So that's all you got to do. That's where you recommend to buy. You look at where the best price is. There's no recommendation for where you can buy Bitcoin, okay? You just have to look what suits you best. There might be a really low price on an exchange that you can't register with in your country, okay? There might be an exchange that doesn't accept your bank account in your country, doesn't allow you to buy with fiat currencies. Depends what you're starting with. If you're coming into cryptocurrency trading and you've never done it before, join Jonny Blockchain, and there's a bit that says new to cryptocurrencies. Okay, new to cryptocurrencies. Then you're going to be new to Jonny Blockchain, and you can start to get your answers that way. Okay, Giles is clear now. Thanks. There was a making mistake of lossing. Could you recommend? So with euros in Spain, well, again, I've just showed you. If you're in Spain, you need to have a look at that coin stats. and go and see, you'll see the exchanges there. There'll be Binance, there'll be HitBTC, there'll be loads of exchanges. You want to see where you're gonna be able to connect your bank account with. If you can't connect your bank account with HitBTC, for example, well, and that might be the lowest price, well, obviously you can't buy it there. But you find with some exchanges that you will be able to trade euros with Bitcoin, but you can't deposit euros. Okay, but you have to do a little bit of work yourself, I'm afraid. Go on those coin stats. But again, as I said to you earlier, it doesn't matter what you really pay. Obviously, you'd like to get it at the cheapest price. But if you would have bought Bitcoin a week ago, today it would be worth 500 more. If you would have bought it about 5 days ago, it would be worth $50, $40 less. So you have to go and look. I personally don't look at what the lowest price is when I'm first entering into Bitcoin. I say, I'm going to buy some Bitcoin. That's it. Forget what the dollar value is, because that's going to go up, or the euro value. That's going to go up and down. Now what I'm going to do is I've got X amount of Bitcoin. I've got one Bitcoin. I'm going to say one Bitcoin. What's your goal? What's your goal? It's not to increase your fiat value, because Bitcoin will go up and down. That will... If you bought a Bitcoin today and held onto it for 10 years, it's going to go up in value. But what you want to do is, if you held a Bitcoin today and you waited 10 years, in 10 years' time you'll still hold a Bitcoin, because the price will eventually go up, I believe. Okay? What you want to be looking to do, your goal is to build it to 1.1 Bitcoin. Okay? 1.2 Bitcoin, 1.3 Bitcoin, 1.4 Bitcoin, and so on. And in time 10 years has gone by. If you wanted to wait that long, hypothetically, instead of you holding one Bitcoin that's now worth 200 grand, okay, now worth 200 grand, you own 5 Bitcoin that's worth 500, that's worth $1 million, you see, or €1 million. So when you buy cryptocurrency and you want to trade it, use your fiat, and then don't make the connection. Don't get confused. The two are not connected, okay? Because once you've got the crypto, it's the crypto you hold now. So what you want to do is increase the amount of crypto you've got. Forget the dollar value, okay? My goal is to increase my crypto. There you go, Carlos. If your goal is to increase your crypto, you want to buy Bitcoin which suits you. The best exchange for you that you can connect your bank to. I mean, I know there's Coinbase Pro, but they're quite expensive, because you can connect your bank account to there. Sexio, you can connect your bank account to. There's so many exchanges, but all you need to do, start registering with a few exchanges and have a look of how you can deposit. Then you'll choose out of, because you need to have more than one exchange. You know, you need to join about 6 exchanges, get yourself approved on them, because you're going to need these exchanges to do your arbitrage. Okay, and we tell you the exchanges to join if it's feasible. I think in Spain you're pretty safe with most of the exchanges, to be honest. It's only if you live in the land of the free, and that's America, that they've got all these rules in place. But most exchanges will accept people in Europe, as far as I'm aware. There's a couple in Brazil. I know one of in Brazil that don't accept Europeans, and I know that there's one in I forget where else it was, Australia, that doesn't accept it. But there's loads of others. There's exchanges in Korea, exchanges in China, all around the world. The most of them will let you join if you're, either in the UK or you're in Europe. It's only, as I say, the land of the free that have all the restrictions in place. Okay. So anyway, guys, we're coming up to the hour. So hopefully that you found that broadcast interesting, and it was you learnt something from it. And I'll see you on the next broadcast, which hopefully will be next Friday, God willing. Have a fantastic weekend, and make sure you don't get caught in that trading spread. Okay, make sure that you don't get caught into the fiat and crypto spread trade trap. Okay. Have a fantastic weekend. My name's Jeremy, and I'll see you on another broadcast. Tutty bye. Let me find me little thing to say bye-bye. And there we go.